Here's a very simple way to automate Splunk alerts using Tines. I think this is an easy trigger to set up and allows you quick setup for real life data. You're going to need Splunk set up on your Linux server, and you're already going to be needing to forward your Linux logs into your Splunk instance. The setup in Tines is very simple, which is why I think this is a great demonstration to get set up and started with being able to receive Splunk alerts into their Tines automation story. You're going to start with the Tines webhook action, and this can just be left in the default settings. The event transform parser is optional for this specific story, but I like using it because it allows me to keep organized in my story as well as in my data. These last two actions that I have is an event transform throttle and an HTTP request to send to a Discord webhook URL. These last two actions go together because I need a throttle events going to my Discord webhook URL. This last action can actually be swapped out to an email address, a Slack server, or any other destination you have access to, whether through an API or natively. To set up in Splunk, you're going to go ahead and create a Splunk search for the event that you want to create an alert for. In this case, I'm interested in sudo session opened, and I already know the Splunk SPL syntax for this, but I'm going to go ahead and walk through real quick. So when I forwarded my logs, I had where the sudo session opened is being logged under the security logs index. So if I just search off of this, I can see all the events coming through and the timeline that's set here on the right. So currently this is the last 24 hours. I haven't had any sudo sessions open recently, so I'm not able to show any recently, but I'll keep filtering down until we can get the event. So now I'm in my source type auth log. I can see that most of my events coming through are connections or disconnects. Filtering it down one more time to see keywords for sudo session opened, I should be able to get the event that I want. No results are found because we're looking in the last 24 hours. But if I expand this to all time, I should be able to get events from previous ranges. Now that I changed it to the all-time range, I can see all the events for where a sudo session was opened. So now that I'm only filtered by sudo session opened, I know that every time an event is created in this search, it'll be for a sudo session opened. Doesn't matter by which user and it doesn't matter by which date. To create an alert, you actually want to change the timeline to all-time real-time. This changes it so that the events that come through here are in real time as they happen. This is what you want for an alert. To create an alert, you go to Save As, Create an Alert. For the title, you just want to name it something that is memorable and descriptive for you. In this case, I'm just going to do sudo session open. Change the alert time to real time, and you can change how long after the alerted event expires within the Splunk dashboard. The trigger conditions, you can set these specifically. The main key you want here for the alert though is to add an action. You want to select the webhook action. And with the webhook URL that you supply here is the webhook URL from the Tines action. So go back to the Tines story and we'll copy this webhook URL. Another action I like to add as well is the log event. This way you can go back and look in your Splunk dashboard for the log. Once you hit save, you can view the alert. Go back to the Tines story. Now I'm going to test it, but I'm going to disconnect the throttle to send to Discord so I can demonstrate what it looks like when you receive the information and how or what you can do with it. To test, I'm going to create a connection to my website. So now I'm logged in with the user that has sudo privileges. I'm going to create a sudo session. As you can see, it looks like an alert was triggered through my webhook and ended up with my connected parse alert. Now we click on the webhook action, we can go to the event viewer and look at what the event looked like. So the body that was received through the event is here. The search name that is created in the Splunk dashboard. We can continue drilling down in the webhook payload. Under the result key, you can see all the data that Splunk is sending through the webhook payload. As I'm sure you can tell, a lot of this is not easily readable, which is one of the reasons why I like to have the event transform parse alert. With this parse alert, I'm specifically formatting and putting data into easily referenceable keys. Looking at the event viewer for the parse alert, we can see the output of this. As you can see, this is a lot more friendly. I get the search name, formatted search content, the source it came from, the link to go to that search event, when it was triggered, and when it's sending. Now with just these two actions, I have this data already formatted and ready to go in Tines. I can do a whole variety of things within Tines natively. But in this specific example, I just want to send this alert to a Discord or Slack channel so that I can get notified for it. As discussed earlier, I already have this set up, so I can just show how this demonstration works. To do that, I'm just going to re-emit the last event. So now I can open up Discord and go to my Discord server status, which is where I'm sending this specific HTTP request to. So here in my server status channel, I can see this new event that we just created. That's a simple, quick, and easy way to get your Splunk alerts into your Tines automation stories. In this specific case, I'm just showing a basic example of just getting the alert and sending that alert to a Discord or Slack channel via a webhook URL.